When it comes to safety, there's no procedure more important than the pre-trip inspection. This inspection is very detailed, and it involves calling out the name and then pointing or touching the items that you are referring to so that your instructor can grade you. In order to make the procedure of the inspection easier to learn, we have divided it into 7 sections. Section 1, Overview. Before beginning the inspection, it is important to chalk the wheels. This will prevent the vehicle from rolling and will secure the vehicle for inspection. First, approach the vehicle and check for obstacles above, underneath, and to its sides. Next, look under the vehicle and search for any and all leaks coming from under the engine compartment. Now you have completed the overview. The in-cab inspection and engine startup. We start by making sure that both the door handle and the window are functioning properly. Next, make sure that your exterior mirrors are secure and without scratches. It is mandatory that each truck have emergency equipment, including a functioning and up-to-date fire extinguisher, spare electrical fuses, and 3 emergency triangles. When climbing up into your cabin, always use the 3 points of contact method. Once inside the cabin, examine the steering wheel play. There should not be more than 2 inches or 10 degrees of movement. Review all turn signals and hazard indicators. Check the left, right, 4-way, and high beam indicator. Later on, you will actually check to make sure they are working on the outside of the vehicle. Check that your pedals, gas, brake, and clutch all work properly and are free from obstructions. Put your vehicle in neutral, and while administering the clutch, start it up. Now that the vehicle is turned on, you can check the levels of your battery, oil, temperature, gas, and air. Call out the levels and activity of each gauge, moving from the left side to the right side to the examiner. Tell him or her the name of the gauge and what you see it doing. Failure to mention a gauge will result in a loss of points. Check the heater and defroster to ensure that it is working. Tap your horn and turn your windshield wipers on and off. Check your windshield and mirrors to ensure that they are not cracked or damaged and that your mirrors are properly adjusted, plainly visible, and securely mounted to the vehicle. Now you have completed the in-cabin inspection and engine startup. Brake system check. There are 3 parts to the brake system inspection: the air brake system test, the parking brake system, the service brake system. The air brake system test. The air brake system test is comprised of 3 parts: L for leaks, A for alarm, B for button. Failure to complete any part of this test may result in an auto failure of your pre-trip test. Make sure your wheels are chalked. Next, you must allow your truck to reach a level of 120 pounds of air pressure. Once you reach that level, turn the engine off. Turn the key to the on position without actually turning the engine on and press the yellow button, then the red button. Then, immediately press on the brake for 1 full minute. In combination vehicles, tractor-trailers, you should not lose more than 4 psi per minute. In single vehicles, you should not lose more than 3 psi per minute. This is the leak portion of the test. Turn the key to the on position without actually turning the engine on, and then start pumping the brakes until the air pressure reaches 60. Once you reach this level, there will be an indicator on the truck, either a light or a buzzer. This is the alarm portion of the test. Continue pumping the brakes until your gauges reach 20 psi. At this point, the emergency brakes are activated, as will be indicated by the red and yellow buttons popping back out. This is the button portion of the test. The parking brake system. While the truck is on, with your parking brake on, the button is out, place your foot on the brake pedal. If you have a clutch, engage the clutch and place the vehicle in low gear. Take your foot off the brake and then off the clutch slowly. The vehicle should not move forward. Be careful not to let the clutch out all the way, or you may stall the vehicle out. Next, your parking brake button, the yellow button, is pressed in. The parking brake is released, and the red button, trailer air supply, is pulled out or engaged. If you have a clutch, engage the clutch and place the vehicle in low gear. Take your foot off the brake and then off the clutch slowly. The vehicle should not move forward. Be careful not to let the clutch out all the way, or you may stall the vehicle out. The service brake system. Your examiner will assist you in moving the wheel chocks. Place your foot on the clutch and your right foot on the brake. Press the parking brake release button and the trailer air supply button in. Take your foot off the clutch slowly and release the brake. Let the vehicle pull forward slowly and step lightly on the brake. The vehicle should not pull to the left or right and stop smoothly. Press in the clutch so you don't stall the vehicle. Turn on your 4-way lighting indicators, turn off the motor, and exit the vehicle. Now you have completed the brake system check. The engine compartment. First, slowly and carefully open the hood and uncover the engine compartment. We now need to verify the engine piece by piece. Make sure that the air filter has no debris in it and that none of the hoses in the motor are leaking. Pay close attention to all of these hoses, including those in the radiator, air compressors, and brakes. You should be checking to see that the hoses are securely attached, not worn, cracked, or leaking, and are in generally good condition. Also inspect the belts of the engine compartment. Ensure that these are securely mounted and are not worn, cracked, or broken. When you inspect the frame or chassis of the vehicle, be sure that it is aligned and straight with no bends or cracks, or a visible sign that it has been welded together. Make sure that the fan is secure and isn't touching or hitting anything when in operation. Verify that the glass on your windshield is clean and isn't chipped or cracked. And closely inspect the rubber on your windshield wipers to make sure they are intact and working properly. Always confirm your levels of motor oil, radiator, and power steering fluids. The other components you must inspect are the alternator. Make sure this is securely mounted, not visibly damaged, and the belt is securely attached. The water pump. This should be securely mounted and not visibly damaged, with no visible signs of water leaking. Also, the water pump belt should be securely attached. The air compressor should be securely mounted with no visible signs of damage. The hoses should be in good condition, not overly worn or cracked, and securely attached. Check the air compressor belt also. The radiator should be securely mounted with no visible signs of leaks. Never open the radiator cap on a hot or recently running engine. You should ask your examiner what he or she would like you to do at this segment. It is very important that you examine each and every tire on your vehicle. While you are in the engine compartment, you should inspect the tire gauges, brake system, steering system, suspension, and frame. The tires. There are 3 parts to the tire inspection you must do in order to receive credit. These are tread depth. On the steering tires, this must be no less than 4/32 of an inch. On all other tires, the minimum tread depth is 2/32 of an inch. Check the condition of the tires. There should be no visible signs of damage, cuts, cord showing, or fabric. No bulges or unusual shapes. The tire pressure. All should be inflated to 80 to 100 psi. While inspecting the tires, go ahead and check the wheel system. Check the wheel rim to ensure it appears to be in good condition. Check the lug nuts to make sure they are securely attached, you are not missing any, and there is no visible sign of rust, which would indicate a loose lug nut. Also check the hub axle oil seal. Make sure there is no sign of leaks and it has the correct oil level. The brake system. There are 4 parts to the brake system. Hoses and lines should be securely attached with no visible signs of being worn, cracked, or damaged. The brake chamber. This should be securely mounted and not cracked, damaged, or dented. Slack adjuster and push rod. This should be present and not have more than 1 inch of play. On the rear axles, it should not be sitting at greater than a 90-degree angle. Brake drum or linings, or the brake disc and rotor. If you have drum brakes, inspect the drum linings to make sure they are present and have sufficient depth to them. They should not be cracked or broken and not have any oil or fluids on them. If you have disc brakes, the discs should be straight, not bent, and in good condition. The brake pad should also be in good condition and not broken with no visible signs of fluid on them. Move on to the suspension. There are 4 parts to the suspension: the spring or airbags, tire shock absorber, the U-bolts, and the front and rear spring mounts. The springs. If you have leaf springs, make sure all are present and they are not cracked or broken and have not been shifted out of place. If you have airbags, they should be in good condition with no holes or sounds of leaking air present. U-bolts will hold your leaves together. They should be present and securely attached. The front and rear spring mounts should be securely attached to the frame and the springs. The steering system. Check the steering box and hoses. Make sure it is securely mounted with no signs of leaks. The steering linkage should be securely attached, properly lubricated, and in good condition. Now you have completed the engine compartment. Outside vehicle inspection. Double check your air tanks as well as your fuel tanks. Always make sure that the cap is on securely. Check the catwalk to make sure it is securely attached to your vehicle. Always inspect the air and electrical cables that connect your truck to your trailer. There should be 3 cables. They should always hang free without any obstructions. Check the 5th wheel. Make sure that the platform is straight, without rust, well lubed, and the bolts are secure and tight. You should not be able to see any light or space between the 5th wheel and the bottom of the trailer. If you do, it means your vehicle may not be properly connected. Go under the vehicle to visually inspect the locking jaws of the 5th wheel to make sure they are securely hooked to the trailer's kingpin. When exiting from the trailer, always back out. That way, you avoid injury to your back or neck on the trailer as you stand up. While under the vehicle, you may be able to see the parts of the axle's brake system better from here. Inspect it if you can. Do you remember the 4 parts? After exiting the vehicle, inspect the rear tractor axle, like you did in the front, the wheel system, tires, and brakes. Now you have completed the outside vehicle inspection. Trailer inspection. Start with the landing gear on the trailer. Make sure that the handle is securely put away and that the foot handle is rolled all the way up and has a minimum of at least a foot of clearance off the ground. Check the overall condition of the trailer. Look for missing reflectors, marker lights, and any signs of damage to the trailer box itself in the front, sides, and rear. Once again, remember that you should inspect the brake system of each trailer axle, the wheel system, the suspension of the trailer, and the 3 parts of the tire system. Now you have completed the trailer inspection. Lights and reflectors. Section 7 concerns inspecting the lights and reflectors on your vehicle. You're going to need an instructor's help in order to do this properly. Step 1 is to turn on the vehicle's lights. Check your turn signals to the right and to the left. This includes the front and back of your trailer. Make sure that the brake lights are functioning and are clearly visible. If your headlights are dirty, clean them in order to improve their visibility and effectiveness. Review your highlights and your lowlights, as well as the lights on your license plates. Double check the reflectors on the side of your trailer. Turn on the trailer's marker lights. Make sure they are clean and secure. Finally, check your emergency lights and make sure they are all working properly. Now you have completed the lights and reflectors inspection. Now that you have completed these 7 steps, your vehicle is ready for safe road travel. Should you have any more questions or problems, please see an instructor. Now, good luck and be safe out there.